Banner Knowledge Bowling and Steve here bringing you the next episode for the mental game checklist. But before we get started, you're not a subscriber, please do so and get a friend to subscribe. That way we can grow the channel and spread the knowledge. All right, let's jump right into this. You know, earlier this summer I was speaking to a coach. Now this happened to be a golf coach, but it was great advice. He went to a conference. It was a 2 or 3 day conference. And in that conference, they went over different things, skills, but one section was on the mental game. And this is what I want to talk about. Annika Sorenstam was the presenter, and she was speaking about the mental game. Now, if you don't know who Annika is, she's a 72-time LPGA Tour winner. That is third all-time. She has 17 Lady European Tour wins. That's fifth all-time. She has 11 majors, so arguably one of the greatest golfers on her tour, and is in the World Golf Hall of Fame and many other awards. So when someone like that talks about the mental game, I always want to listen. And I thought what she had to say was fascinating. And as the coach described to me, Annika approached the mental game very simplistically, but did the same thing her entire career. So what was that? Well, she had what she called her think bubble. And her think bubble was when she was standing behind the golf ball deciding what she was going to do. So she would pick the club, the trajectory, where she was going to aim, how the ball would land, and she would figure out all of that stuff. That's very similar to what I have said in bowling. We want to think about what we are going to do before we get up on the approach. So what ball, what line, what release am I going to use? What ball speed am I going to throw it with more energy? Maybe I'm going to be a little nicer to it at the bottom. Whatever that is, I want all that decided before I get up on the lane. So she would do something very similar in what she called her think bubble. Then what she said was she would go into her play bubble, and that's when she would hit the shot. And when she would go to the play bubble, she gave herself about 10 seconds to execute the shot. Now, why 10 seconds? She did the 10 seconds because she didn't want to overthink it. She already thought and already planned out the shot. So she didn't want to overthink anything. She knew exactly what she was going to do before she got into the play bubble. So it was just a matter of getting in there and executing the shot. So the one thing that I found fascinating was she said she gave herself one swing thought. She would allow one swing thought in when she went into the play bubble. And her one swing thought, believe it or not, was breathing. So over her entire career, when she went to execute the shot, she gave herself 10 seconds, and her one swing thought was breathe in, exhale, and then execute the shot. Now, in bowling, I think that translates perfectly, because when we're up on that lane, how many times have we seen the analysis by paralysis cliche, where we're up there, we're thinking too many thoughts, and then we're trying to take the 4 or 5 steps, that 2 to 3 seconds to do the delivery and execute it. And we stand up there on the approach too long, thinking, oh, well, I got to throw it over the third arrow and it's got to get down and I want to make sure I hit it at the bottom, but don't walk too fast, but make sure that you release the ball properly. And all these thoughts are in your mind, and then you try to walk up jumbled and you throw kind of an anyway shot. I love the idea of getting everything, all those to-do statements before we get up there. I'm going to play this line with this ball, with this release, and I can feel that my energy level that I'm going to have, how hard am I going to throw it, and I can see it going down through the pin. So we got all that in the computer. When we get up there, have one swing thought, one key thing that you can focus on to quiet the mind so that you can execute that shot. I think the other thing that's important is give yourself 10 seconds to go. If you stand up there and you start to get into that analysis by paralysis kind of thinking, what happens? We never make that good athletic shot that we know how that we can make. So I thought her story was a great example of what we can do in our sport. We want to plan those do statements before we get up on the approach. We want to know what we're going to do, how it's going to look, and how that ball is going to go through the pins. And then when we get up there, man, I love the idea of one key thought. And the key thought might be nice, deep breath. Because if I do that nice, deep breath and I'm set up properly, I know I'm going to take those 5 steps. I'm going to let go, slide on the right board. It's going to go down my target line, and I'm going to have a great result. So tell me what you think. Put your comments down below. I love chatting with people. We're learning together, and stay tuned for more episodes in the coming weeks. Thanks a lot.